Right now, somewhere near you, a price tag is lying to you. An app is nudging you toward a decision you didn't consciously make. A store layout is guiding your feet down an aisle you didn't choose to walk down. And the most important part, none of it feels like manipulation. It feels like shopping. Pause. Let it breathe. The companies that sell to you have spent billions, not building better products, but studying the exact psychology that makes you buy more. More than you planned, more than you need, more than you even wanted. Today, I'm going to show you exactly how they do it. 10 tactics, all happening to you right now, and once you see them, you cannot unsee them. The anchoring effect. You're browsing online, you see a jacket, price tag, $200. You almost scroll past, and then you notice the red label. Now, $79. Instantly, your brain fires. That's a deal. But here's what actually happened. Your brain didn't evaluate that jacket at $79. It evaluated it relative to $200. That first number, the anchor, hijacked your entire sense of value before you even had a chance to think. Slow down here. The $200 tag was never meant to be sold at. It was placed there deliberately so that $79 would feel like rescue instead of a transaction. Same thing happens in restaurants. Have you ever noticed one item on the menu that's absurdly expensive? A $40 steak surrounded by $80 options? The restaurant doesn't expect you to order the steak. They want you to look at it, so everything else suddenly feels affordable by comparison. Your brain doesn't judge price. It judges price compared to the first number it saw. Fix. Before you buy anything, ask yourself, what would I think this is worth if I'd never seen the original price? Decoy pricing. You're at a movie theater. You look at the popcorn options, small to $15, medium to $28, large to $30. Most people look at that and think, wait, large is only $20 more than medium? That's obviously the better deal. And they're right. But that's exactly the point. The medium wasn't designed to be sold. It was designed to make the large look like common sense. This is called the decoy effect. Companies introduce a deliberately bad option, so your brain reevaluates the other two options in a way that benefits the business. Lean in slightly. You'll see this in streaming subscriptions, mobile data plans, software pricing. The middle tier exists almost entirely to make the expensive one feel justified. You think you're making a rational comparison? You are. But the options were engineered to funnel you toward one specific conclusion. When you compare options, ask who designed the comparison. Scarcity and fake urgency. Only 2 left in stock. Sale ends in 0 hours, 47 minutes, 22 seconds. Limited time offer. Don't miss out. The moment you read those words, something shifts in your brain. A quiet panic. A sudden need to decide now before you lose the opportunity. That feeling is real, but the scarcity often isn't. Pause for effect. There's a well-documented phenomenon where some countdown timers on shopping sites simply reset when you refresh the page. The 2 left in stock counters sometimes never changes, regardless of how many people are buying. The urgency is manufactured because urgency works. Here's the psychology. Humans are wired to fear loss more than we value gain. Missing out on something feels worse than never having it in the first place. Companies exploit that asymmetry ruthlessly. The product isn't scarce, your attention is, and they're racing to capture it before you stop and think. Real scarcity needs no countdown timer. If the deal is genuine, it will still exist after you sleep on it. The free shipping trap. You find exactly what you need, total $90. You're about to check out. Then the banner appears. Free shipping on orders over $100. And just like that, you're browsing again, looking for something, anything to close that 100 rupees gap. You had a $15 item you didn't come for. You just spent 105 rupees to avoid a $6 shipping charge. Let the irony land. This works because your brain treats shipping costs differently from product costs. Paying 60 rupees for shipping feels like throwing money away. Paying $15 for an extra product feels like getting something, even if the math says otherwise. Companies have studied this precisely. The free shipping threshold isn't set randomly. It's calculated to sit just above the average order value, so most customers feel just one item short of the reward. You didn't save on shipping. You spent more to avoid a smaller number that felt wrong. The illusion of choice. Walk into any supermarket. There are 40 types of shampoo, 60 variations of breakfast cereal, 12 versions of the same yogurt brand. You'd think more choice means more freedom. It doesn't. Researchers have found that beyond a certain point, more options don't help people decide. They paralyze them. And when people are overwhelmed, they default to whatever feels safe, whatever is familiar, whatever has been pre-selected for them, slightly faster pace, building energy. This is why you'll notice that in almost every pricing page, app store, or product lineups yup, one option has a badge on it. Most popular, recommended, best value. That label isn't there to inform you. It's there to rescue you from the confusion that the company deliberately created. And in doing so, it guides you exactly where they wanted you to go all along. When a company gives you endless choices and then highlights one, they were always selling you that one. Emotional selling. Think about the last advertisement that actually stayed with you. I'll bet it didn't lead with specs, features, or price comparisons. I'll bet it made you feel something. Because here's the uncomfortable truth about buying decisions. Most of them are emotional first and logical second. We decide with our feelings, and then we use our brain to justify the decision afterward. Slow, deliberate tone here. Luxury watch brands don't advertise precision engineering. They advertise success, legacy, the feeling of having arrived. Fitness brands don't sell shoes. They sell transformation, the version of you that runs at 5 a.m., the person you're becoming. Insurance companies don't sell policies. They sell peace of mind, safety, the idea that you'd never leave your family unprotected. The product is almost incidental. The emotion is the product. And once a brand makes you feel something, loyalty, aspiration, fear, belonging, they don't need to convince you anymore. You convince yourself. Ask yourself, am I buying this product? Or am I buying the feeling they told me it would give me? Social proof. You're on a product page. Two similar items, almost identical price. One has 14 reviews, the other has 4,700 reviews and a 4.6 star rating. You already know which one you're buying, and you haven't read a single review yet. That's social proof, and it's one of the most powerful forces in consumer psychology. Your brain uses other people's decisions as shortcuts. If thousands of people chose something, it must be safer, better, smarter. The crowd becomes the evidence. Even when the crowd was manipulated to get there, through paid reviews, fake testimonials, or simply the first mover advantage of an early product, one calm beat. This is why restaurants with queues outside attract more customers. Why 10 million users is plastered across apps. Why bestseller badges exist, even on products that are best-selling because they were the cheapest, not because they were the best. The crowd is data, but crowds can be manufactured. Read the actual reviews, not just the star count. Subscription traps. 299 rupees per month. Sounds harmless, right? Now multiply that by 12, by 3 years. Add the 3 other subscriptions you forgot you had, the gym membership you haven't used since February, the software trial that converted to paid and you didn't notice. Subscriptions are designed around one insight. When you pay once and forget, you don't feel the pain of repeated spending. It removes the friction of each transaction, which is exactly what makes it so powerful for companies. Slightly wry, conversational tone. And cancellation, that's where the design gets really intentional. Sign up, one click, cancel. Navigate to settings, find billing, click manage, verify identity, read retention offer, decline, confirm, wait for email, click unsubscribe link. The asymmetry is not a bug, it's the product. Once a month, audit your subscriptions. The ones you forgot you had are the ones companies love the most. Personalized manipulation. Have you ever mentioned something in conversation and then seen an ad for it within hours? Whether or not your phone is listening, that's still debated. What is certain is this: companies know more about your psychology than most people in your life do. Every click you make is data. Every search, every second you linger on a product page, every video you watch halfway and stop, every item you add to a cart and don't buy. Measured, slightly unsettling tone. That behavioral data is fed into systems that predict not just what you like, but what you're vulnerable to. What kind of emotional appeal works on you? What price point you'll respond to? What time of day you're most likely to make an impulsive decision? You're not seeing random ads, you're seeing a profile of yourself, reflected back at you, designed to convert. Your attention is the product. Your data is the raw material. You are being studied. The sunk cost trap. You're watching a movie. 40 minutes in, it's terrible. You want to stop, but you think, I've already watched 40 minutes. I might as well finish it. So you sit through another 80 minutes of something you don't enjoy because of time you can't get back anyway. That's the sunk cost fallacy, and companies build entire business models on it. Conversational, relatable pace. The gym membership you keep paying for because I've already paid for so many months. The app you won't delete because I spent time setting it up. The subscription you haven't canceled because I already paid for the year. Every rupee and every hour you've already spent is gone. It shouldn't factor into your next decision, but it does because your brain is trying to avoid feeling like the loss was wasted. Companies know this. The longer you use something, the harder you'll find it to leave. Even when leaving is obviously the smarter move, past spending is not a reason to keep spending. The only question is, does this serve me now? Here's the thing I want you to take away from all of this. These companies are not evil. They're just very, very good at understanding how human psychology works, better than most of us understand ourselves. And that gap between how they understand your brain and how well you understand it is where they make their money. The anchor price, the decoy option, the countdown timer, the free shipping threshold, the curated reviews, the one-click sign-up and 10-click cancel. The ads that feel like they're reading your mind. None of it is random. Every single piece is designed, tested, refined, optimized to move your behavior in a specific direction without you feeling like you were moved at all. And the only real defense against any of it is the one thing they can't design away: awareness. Lean slightly forward, direct eye contact. The moment you know the game, you stop playing it blindly. You can still buy the jacket. You can still get the large popcorn. But now it's a choice, not a reaction. That's the difference. If this opened your eyes, share it with someone who needs to see it. Subscribe if you want more on the psychology of decisions, money, and how to think more clearly in a world designed to make you act fast. I'll see you in the next one.